Gabby should get on camera.
Gabby does not never wants to be on camera. All right, put your headphones on.
You know, I just need you to.
Okay. I'm gonna clap. We're gonna get everything done. Tired of this shit.
Hey, we're learning together.
All right.
I didn't do shit, but you know.
Technical difficulties. Welcome. Let me do that again because I fucked my mic up. Did you see that? Gabby didn't see that. Thank God. I fucked my mic up when I clapped. Welcome. Technical difficulties. Beautiful. Okay, so we were talking about niggas are predators.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about that because Gabby, who is the voice of reason behind the camera, it's crazy because we just had a whole conversation, like a whole 45-minute conversation that you guys will never see. And it was like deep. You know what I mean? So we have like all this context that they don't have.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, maybe we can just prompt it again, build off the discussion. But Gabby, what happened?
Yeah, Gabby, what happened?
In our last conversation?
Yeah.
No, like why did I just start off with niggas are predators?
Oh, was that not recorded?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so I posted on my Instagram story,
Yeah,
about how Cyril brought PS5 and I was playing it, and I think I said like, oh, when your roommate buys a PS5 for himself,
yeah,
he really bought it for us.
yeah.
And I just had multiple niggas in my DMs on some like, why did you call your roommate your boyfriend?
Why'd you call your boyfriend
your
roommate?
boyfriend your roommate? Like clearly that's your boyfriend.
And the reality is, we both called it. We're like, those are some thirsty niggas.
Yeah, just straight. And like to the point is, dudes are always on get some pussy mode.
Facts.
Yes.
Like, and I don't.
Yes.
And there's a subset of niggas who are like, whenever you disagree with being a man, they're like, oh, you just trying to get in with bitches. Trust me, I don't like bitches neither. I don't like niggas. I don't like bitches. I don't like nobody. All right? But
We keep it cordial.
we can keep it cordial. How you want to go about it? but it's wild to me because, like, bro, that Gabby and I were talking about this. I know a guy who's had sexual relations over hundreds of times, right? And
hundreds of times with hundreds of different people.
Hundreds of different people,
Oof.
right? And like when you sit down and think about it, first of all, if he ever comes to this house, that nigga's getting his own cup. He can't be sharing cups with the rest of us because that is too many partners. But second of all, Gabby brought up a really good point, and it like goes through this video, and I wonder if I can put the video in here. But it's like there's a video, and it's these two dudes talking, and I won't do the whole thing, but basically the guy goes, she took her panties off, and it was white, but there was some brown spots in them. And then the guy goes, what that is? And she's like, I ain't even gonna cap. And there were doo-doo stains. And the other guy goes, oh man, so did you Uber home or something? And then the guy goes, what you mean, my boy?
Got to see it through.
And then he was like, got to see it through, my boy. And it's like, that's the attitude dudes be having, bro. Like, in a nigga's mind, any pussy is good pussy. And that's just not how you should constitute yourself. Right. That's how you get yourself in trouble. I feel like I'm on an island.
No, you're not. You're not on an island. No, that's facts. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of dudes out there too that
like any niggas like, I took her down. It's like, bro, I could fuck a librarian too. I just choose not to. Like, have standards, my guy.
How did we go from the Instagram story to this?
I'm just saying, like,
well,
it's kind of like that vibe.
Yeah. You know, it's like, what do you
talk? You can talk.
Oh, like, what are you doing? Hopping in a girl's DMs about a PlayStation 5.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like.
And the thing is, these niggas might not even really like niggas spray and pray.
Yeah.
Like, and this is the thing. As a dude who used to spray and pray, I'm not speaking out of term here. I know who I am. As a nigga who used to spray and pray, I know the tactics.
These are niggas who have been in my DMs like a few times though, just like chatting though, like.
But I guess what I was trying to say was
talking.
No, like they just some niggas just like to respond to your story and you just like it and move on.
Yeah. Responding to the story is a tactic.
It is a tactic. I mean, it don't work, but I mean, it works
on some people.
You
gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say it's just I don't know what it is, but we both know as men what the tactics were.
We know the game.
You know?
We know the game.
We identified it like that. And
it's
that
just like,
makes me sick, but also like
that's
just
the game.
how it goes.
That's the game, nigga.
Niggas are just weird. Like the pronoun he or him or whatever showed up in my story and alarm bells went off.
Yeah,
No, because okay,
right.
this and I'll give you like the other part of the game for a dude is like if you've been, and I'm always gonna bring this back to like primitive, like if you've been hunting, stalking a deer, and then you find out like another hunter is also stalking the deer,
This is
and
why,
it's a better hunter.
This is well, amongst other reasons. This is why I don't want you to around when I bring my niggas over.
All right, whatever, bro. But like, niggas want to know if they're wasting their time on this hunt or not, bro. So if you have a he in your life, they'll be like, "Oh no, she's taking." Which you know what? I gotta respect that.
What do you mean?
That's respectful, bro. If as soon as you put
I
like a
mean-
he, niggas are gonna be like, "Oh, that's off limits."
But I know some dudes.
Even if I said that was my man, I'm sure they would still be in my DMs. To be honest,
facts,
you think so?
That's
Yes.
what I'm saying. I'm like some
Yes.
dudes. That's just a measure of how hard the goal is.
Exactly.
Yo, I heard the most gangster thing when I was in high school. Shout out to he doesn't watch the show. Chris S. We played soccer together. He'll know who he is. He said just because it's a goalie don't mean you can't score.
Yeah,
And I was
that's
like,
a
"Damn,
classic.
that's gangster.
That's a
You know what? First of all, I'm not dating. I'm not on the hunt. I'm not doing that. But if I was, for me, child is where I stop.
Child.
Child is where I stop. If you have a child, I'm not gonna break up your home.
Damn.
All right.
So you don't care about?
Okay. Check this out though. All right, but what if let's do a 26.
Damn.
A
Damn. I'm glad you remembered too.
Yes. A 26, great credit.
That's
Doesn't-
26 out of 30 for people.
Husband died.
Okay.
Tragic accident.
Okay. This sounds all good to me.
3 kids.
Oof. What are the
Good
ages?
job.
What are the ages? She can't have a good job, 3 kids, no husband.
Good job.
Who's taking care of them kids?
Nanny.
Okay.
Maybe she
okay,
rich.
Okay.
Honestly, that's a
okay.
good deal right
And then
there.
and then life
So-
insurance policy too on the nigga.
What?
What? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
That's fucked up, bro.
Hey, nigga, you gotta be thinking, bro.
You
You
had
gotta
me.
think
You
in
had
this
me.
world, bro. You gotta think in this world, bro.
You had me.
Hey, bro. Hey,
We
bro.
both-
Nah,
we both-
bro.
Gabby and I looked at Gabby. They're both.
Hey.
Huh.
I was. That's opportunity.
I
As soon
mean-
as you said dead husband, I'm like, oh, this nigga got a life insurance policy for them 3 kids. Hell yeah. What are the ages? Are they young?
Let's say they're all under the age of 10.
I'll be somebody's daddy. They're still malleable at that age.
Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
God. I feel like it's better if they're grown.
Nah.
I feel like it's better when
Nah,
they grown
nah,
too.
bro.
So you don't have to deal with them.
because grown is different. Grown, they don't have to love you. Like when they're young, they can still grow to love you.
But
so
why
they
do you?
won't be
But why do you
hateful
want to
when
be
they're
loved
older.
by the kids?
What?
But why do you want to be loved by the kids?
Because I'm gonna fuck their mama.
But it don't really matter, especially if they're grown. If
Am
they're
I
grown.
getting with her? Or am I,
I mean,
just fucking
think
their
about
mom?
it. Well, I don't want to put this, but like, if you're grown, I feel like grown kids don't really care what their parents be doing. Like,
It
don't
depends. If they're
care.
like 18, 19, 20, but if you catch a nigga 14 to 17, that's a strife period.
You know, that's,
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah,
a valid point.
yeah.
You could
Valid
you
point.
could catch a straight bullet from a young nigga
I
if
feel
you.
like you want to miss era. I feel like you want to miss those preteen
Yeah.
to like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
well, right before they go to college. Once they're in college, I feel like.
Oh, once in the yo, perfect example.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Jackson used to have a stepdad. Now he just has that's my mother's husband. Like that's what I want. I want to be that's my mother's husband.
That's what I mean.
That's all I want.
But that's only the case if they're like grown.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take below 10 and above 19. Continue your story
Okay.
though.
No. I was just gonna say though, would gender make a difference at the that age, like past 10?
What 14 to 19?
Yeah.
Yeah, all girls. Niggas like to fight. At that age,
Too much testosterone.
niggas be throwing hands, bro.
Yeah, it's true.
Nah, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all.
Yeah,
So
couldn't
I
do
mean,
it.
absolutely. Is your question would I smash? 100%.
Not just smash, but like you gotta put a ring on it, bro.
I'll marry. She have a good job, good credit. 26
Yeah.
out of 30,
Yeah.
3 kids. I'll be somebody, daddy.
Okay. See, then
Would you
I
do
just
that?
Plead the fifth.
What? Why? Why?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
Well, it depends how old I am.
See, girls gotta get technical and shit. Would you smash or would you not smash?
It depends.
This
how old
nigga's
I am.
50.
And how old
5.
am I?
26.
26.
No.
Really?
No.
I just want to make these situations as difficult as possible.
That's not difficult. I'm 26.
Yeah.
You're talking about marrying.
And this
But he
nigga,
got
this
bank.
nigga got bills. See, Gabby's different though.
Billion.
Gabby's different. Gabby's like, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna be a strong business. Fuck all that. If a nigga came today, nigga too. I don't even like men, but if a nigga came through and was like, I'm a billionaire, ride it out with me. A billionaire? A billionaire?
Yeah, but that's the thing is though, is like then like everything about your life is dependent on this person. Like what if shit goes wrong?
See, and that's where niggas fuck up. Start stacking your own paper on the side.
Yeah, I guess.
Make that nigga start you a business. See,
Okay,
this is the
maybe
problem
we
with
should
these
keep
new
it.
young, not you, but these new young girls. They worry about getting Birkins and shit. Nigga, start a. Do you have a
This is-
venture capitalist
this is
in
a-
your back pocket?
This is a highly unlikely scenario though, so I haven't
I don't know,
thought
Gabby.
it
For
about
you, it's
much.
not that unlikely.
Things could happen. You know?
Malik. Now,
You
now,
know?
now the game has changed. Gabby, do you think?
Basically, you're talking about a
could get
sugar
nigga to
daddy.
buy you a Birkin?
No,
You don't think so?
bro, we were talking about
You know what?
Birkins,
I
bro.
just figured out
We
what
will
y'all
never
talking about
see
Birkin.
a Birkin in real life, okay? We will not be that rich.
Have you ever seen a Birkin?
I've never seen a Birkin.
And
know
you
how much a
never
Birkin
will.
is?
A lot.
Bro, how much was a Birkin?
Birkin bag.
They can be around like $50,000,
For a
For a
semester,
bag.
a semester at a private
and that's
institution.
like mid. Like I think the most expensive one sold for like $2 million.
Bag. And they ain't even good looking, bro. They ain't even good looking, bro.
Yeah, they alright.
I mean, I feel the same way about Patek Philippe's,
Patek Philippe's are ugly watches. Have you ever seen a Patek Philippe?
but they're
Ugly watches.
500,000 and up.
Yeah, disgusting watches. I love my fucking Citizen over a Patek Philippe. They don't buy those things because they like it. They buy it to flex.
Period.
Yeah.
I can't say though. I can say this. I can't. Maybe if I had that kind of money, I don't think I could do it. I couldn't pull the trigger.
On like a
You got
$500,000 bag.
I got $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's very different.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I always say
different.
this to Gabby. God made me poor on purpose. Because if I had money, I'd be insufferable. I
Oh,
would
that's
be.
right.
Oh my God. If I had money,
Mhm.
I'd have 7 Ferraris, all in different colors, for each day of the week to match my shoes.
You know what? Ferrari would probably sue you.
They would. They don't
They,
like that shit.
They don't like that shit.
But, like,
they don't. They would.
They don't.
They'd put a cease and desist order on you. if
I'm
you're like-
the nigga who would have mad Dodge Rams, mad fucking Chargers, mad F-150s, like, ooh wee. Ooh.
You'd have like a
wee.
12 car garage.
More than 12. More than 12. I'd have a warehouse full of cars. And,
Be like-
and I can hear my mom right now. You can't drive all of it at the same time. Nigga, watch me. Nigga, watch me. Every day a new car. I'd be pulling. And you know what's crazy? Even if I got that money, I'd still work the same job just to flex on my coworkers. Just so them niggas know I'm there for the love
You're
of the
there
game.
for the. Damn, that's cold shit.
I'm-
bro.
yo,
That's
I'm
some
such a
cold
piece of shit, bro.
That's some cold shit. I love it though.
I was coaching soccer, and I wasn't coaching soccer. I was helping. I was like training kids, and the head coach was like, "Hey, Cyril, do you want to get a team? Do you want to be a coach?" And I said, "Coach, I can't be a coach." He's like, "Why?" He's like, "I don't believe in sportsmanship. I don't believe in sportsmanship. Sportsmanship means absolutely nothing to me. Like, I'll tell you right now, if I'm coaching a team and we're beating a team 5-0, we will keep on
You
scoring
keep on scoring
until
Hell
the game
yeah.
is over. Like, I was
That's-
raised, if someone's begging and groveling at your feet, put the pistol between their eyes and let that shit rip. Like,
Damn.
no mercy. No mercy at all. I remember there was one game where we were winning like 9-0. And my mom said to me, "If you ever make me come out and waste my time like that again, I will beat you." And I was like, "Whoa." And she's like, and she had some misplaced anger, but like, we walked it back in the car. She's like, "That other team wasted my time." like someone needs to refund my time. I did not come out. My parents are really strict about that. My parents are like, if I'm coming to see a performance, I expect to see a performance.
Right.
So if someone's gonna come and half-ass it, I want my money back.
That's valid.
I don't believe in
That's valid.
sportsmanship.
That's
Like
valid.
I believe in being a competitor
Mhm.
and respecting your opponent,
Right.
but like, oh, don't score. Fuck no.
You would have hated Tyson fights back in the day. My pops had my grandfather was telling me about that. He was like, man, I stopped paying pay-per-view for Tyson fights. So I know it just ends soon.
We
And,
were
like, you're
watching
gonna-
the highlights.
Right.
Mike Tyson knocked people out in the second round,
Sheesh.
and
Yeah,
it's like,
just like-
you paid $80 to watch
Sheesh.
in the 80s.
6 minutes. $80 in the 80s is like $210
Jesus.
just
Yeah,
to watch a
just to
nigga
watch
get
the fight.
knocked out
Second
in
round.
The second round.
Well, shit.
It's
Yeah. Yeah, you just gonna
what can you do?
One right.
One thing that came up this week that I saw and that we were going to talk about is Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Kyle Rittenhouse, Gabby? So Kyle Rittenhouse was, you might be able to tell it better than I can.
Yeah, so Kyle Rittenhouse was a counter protester who
What was
shot-
going
well,
on? I think you have to give more story.
Yeah. Well, so what was so here's where I have trouble with the story. There's so many protests
In the summer,
in the summer.
it was
It was which one of those protests?
it was a protest because someone was shot. Was it Blake, the guy who got paralyzed, Jacob Blake? Because that was in Wisconsin.
Yes.
The quick and dirty of it is there was a
It's-
protest for Black Lives Matter, and there were counter protests, and it wasn't counter protests. It was like police presence and some counter protests.
Right.
And this child, Kyle Rittenhouse, who was 17 years old,
Mhm.
shot and killed 2 protesters. It then wounded not severely, but wounded the
Right.
third one.
Right. And in the Rittenhouse situation, it was that he was actually from out of state
Yes.
too. So he came from all the way out of state in order to protect property from looting.
Yes.
With this Facebook group.
And one thing that I'll
And-
give you is if you were like, well, the state law, once you cross states with the firearm, it stops being a states' rights issue
Right.
and it's federal because it's
Right.
intrastate, right?
Right.
So
right,
it's like
right.
now it's federal law. And I believe, I
right.
might be wrong, but I believe federal law states that no one under the age of 18 can own a firearm.
Yes, you're right.
So
you're right. What might be a factor in the litigation is the fact that he was part of the cadets. It's like think of it like junior ROTC, but for police.
But that'll probably be a states thing too. That
Yeah,
doesn't give you
that's
a
true.
pass to,
That's true.
to own a gun.
Yeah.
But the
that's true.
thing that's kind of
Mm.
chapping my gonads is the judge said that you cannot call the people that he killed victims. You can call them
Right.
rioters,
Right,
looters,
right.
and what's annoying is there's already bias.
Right.
Right, that's
Exactly.
clear bias.
That's clear bias, right? Right. Yeah, and Rittenhouse, if you look at his face,
Yo,
bro,
Jackson says he has the most punchable face I've ever seen.
it is the most punchable face you've ever
Really?
seen. It is. Think of rich white kid that just eats Oreos all day.
He's got a little. He's a little.
Yeah.
He's a little round in the face, right?
Yeah.
I think what's
But, like,
interesting,
Yeah, go ahead.
the amount of. I'm not looking up anything important.
Oh, okay.
I can
I was like, I
multitask
thought-
really well. I think what's really interesting is the amount of donations he got from like Christian groups and other things when he did it.
Yeah. He
And-
got a lot of support.
He got a
from
lot of
people.
support, and it's just
And if you see the video, he clearly shot people. Yeah, clearly. I don't know. Like he brings my blood to a boil because it's just the sheer act of him just doing what he did. Like you're gonna get hit by a skateboard. Big deal.
yeah.
Fucking take
You
it.
don't have to shoot it. Yeah, don't be a bitch
Bitch
about
ass.
it.
Like it's just it's like you don't have to shoot some dude in the face for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely.
I don't know.
I-
And that's another thing too. I see this thing I see this trend on TikTok where it's
Yeah.
like, it's always these dudes that's trying to act hard, act tough,
Yeah.
right? But they're like talking about how they'll shoot over some little shit, right? And I'm like,
That
that is some crazy
That
shit. Like
segues-
y'all rather
Continue.
murder somebody and end someone's life than take a licking. I mean, it's just
we were talking about this. The number one killer of young African American males is not drugs, it's not gang violence, it's not racism, it's pride. Pride kills more niggas than it needs to. Absolutely. Give you a perfect example. I was at the I was parking my truck in like como se dice? Like a yellow zone.
Okay.
Right? It was out here. It was a couple mornings
I'm parked
ago.
at the yellow zone.
Yeah, it's fine because it's nighttime. And we live across from the post office.
Right.
So I parked my truck in the yellow zone, and usually the postal workers back there, postal vans up in there.
Yeah.
So I'm walking towards my truck, and I hear, hey, you can't park here. And I was like, well, it's before 6 o'clock in the morning, so theoretically I can park there from 6 to 6. He's like, well, no, you can't park there. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Is there? And I know why he doesn't want me to park there, but why not? Why not ruffle some feathers?
Yeah.
So I go, why can't I park here? He's like, well, we fill up our vans here. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll move and I'll keep that in mind. He's like, yeah, I better not see you here again. And I said to him, is this necessary? Because the way you're speaking to me, I'm feeling real assaulty. He's like, what do you mean? Like, I will punch you in the face if you keep on talking to me like that. And like, there's no need for that. I'm like, there's no need for you to come at me with that energy. Bro, a simple, hey man, we fill up our mail carriers here. Can you just, park your car somewhere else? Yeah. The people's approach is so prickly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. No, by the way, you had a lot more patience than me in that situation. I would have went off.
I'm very patient because the thing is, if you're gonna
like,
if you're gonna fight, you gotta be willing to die. And I really said that morning, I'm not willing to die. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to die over some
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Pride kills.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to die over a parking spot. Because what if I go to fight him and then someone whips out a gun from inside them and just cop.
Yeah.
Right? Or I don't need the cops called on. Like, you got to think past. And this is what I'm saying.
Right.
This is my message. You got to think past your situation.
Of course, yeah. It's you're right. It like there's a lot of situations in which it can easily go any way, right? And you just don't know people like that, right?
I was showing Gabby a video, and there's this girl wrestling this guy, and this girl fucked this dude up. Like
dope.
I remember Gabby.
Yeah.
Bro.
Like,
we're
it's
watching.
like a full like.
She
out,
choked
like,
the shit out this nigga, bro.
Damn.
She basically double leg takedown. And then she got his back, and I said, "Yo, we're watching the video. I was like, don't let him get you back. Don't let him get you back." She didn't take his back. She snatched that shit. Snatched it. And then on the rear naked choke, she like you see her hand like a spear. She like gets it right under the chin,
damn.
and then just like this. It was brutal. I'm like, yo, what if I run across her?
Yeah.
I don't want to run across her.
Yeah.
And people in the comments are like, oh, never let it go. Shut the fuck up,
yeah,
bro.
That's some funny shit. That's some keyboard warrior shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
chins don't know gender.
Yeah.
Chins don't know gender.
Your esophagus.
Yeah, like
your diaphragm.
Your diaphragm doesn't know gender. A girl could fuck around and just elbow you a little too quick on accident, and you are going to sleep.
Yes.
Like I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't know. Gabby, do you fight people in the streets?
No.
Gabby, you know what's Gabby's just mouth. Gabby got a quick, sharp mouth, but when it comes to throwing the hands, she ain't got it.
So she needs a camera.
She ain't got it.
She's making all sorts of faces.
Fighting is not cute.
Fighting is not cute.
Fighting is not cute.
Do you think you got the hands though? Gabby,
know.
look at me. Do you think you got the hands though?
I think I could fuck someone
Gabby,
up.
you don't have the hands, bro. Gabby, you don't have the hands.
How do you know?
Gabby, because first I live with you, and like I've seen the things you've asked me to open for you, and I'm like, bro, if you can't open this, you do not have that. I know some black girls in the streets who out here killing niggas with their bare hands, bro. You don't have the hands. And I'm not saying it disrespectfully, but I'm like all I'm trying to say to you is don't let your mouth lead you to a situation that your hands cannot follow up in. You know what I mean?
I always know what situation I'm in. Don't worry about it. Remember that time? Remember that time we were in our old house? I forgot what you said. But I was like, what are you gonna do?
Yo, Gab, and the thing was like brings up a great point. There is this thing that happens between men and women. And this is not gonna go over well. I'm prefacing it by saying that, but it needs to be said. The innate fact that women don't think they can get touched leads them to say the wildest things.
What you mean though?
Watch, ready? Me and Malik, there are things there's a point if we were in a serious conversation,
Yeah.
and I'd say like your mother's a hoe,
Right.
I can't say that without expecting
Mhm.
a hook to the face.
Right,
Like
right.
I will let that fly out the mouth,
Uh-huh.
but I understand that there will be repercussions.
Right,
Like if I
right.
said that and you slapped the shit out of me,
Right. It's expected.
I'll fight you,
Right.
but I'll be like, fair enough.
Yeah,
Like that is,
right.
I shouldn't be surprised that I got caught off guard.
Right. Exactly.
Now, if
Right,
a
okay,
woman
yeah.
said that and she caught a stray right hook, she'll be like, I can't believe he hit me. And it's like, yo.
It's also because like if I said that to a girl, not that I'd say that to a girl, like she's not about to box me.
But that's a tiger doesn't behave the same way a koala does. Like,
You're
know the
saying
animal
men
you
are
fight.
tigers
nigga.
and
I guess-
women are
I get-
koalas.
Pardon?
You're saying the men are tigers and women are koalas.
No, but I'm just saying, know that because there are some women that if you say that to, she will fuck you up, and you know that's true.
Okay.
I feel like people who can fight though. Here's the thing.
But it's also like in our situation, like I knew you weren't gonna fucking hit me. I don't know what I said. I can't
Bro,
remember.
and the thing was, but the thing is, y'all live without that fear, bro.
I mean, I like I said, I know what situation I'm in.
So are you calling me pussy? Basically, that's how I feel like.
No, I. Just
You know what I
knew you
mean?
were
Like I
gonna
feel
hit
like
me.
she called me pussy.
I didn't catch that
Are you a
at
pussy?
all.
Are you a pussy because you don't hit women, or you don't hit people in general? Like
That's the second part because I don't see gender. Everybody
okay.
can catch these hands.
Cap.
I don't see gender. Everybody can catch these hands. These hands are rated E for everybody.
everyone.
That's also cap, but okay.
Yo,
Hey, listen though. I think anybody who can fight, who really can fight, oftentimes don't fight.
because the thing is, if you
So-
can't fight and then you fight and you win, you're probably going to jail.
You're probably going to jail. But like, the thing is, like, I feel like if you were to have this altercation with this woman, right?
I like that word.
If she's talking shit and you're talking shit, right? And she reaches, she makes the first move, then I think that's okay. But
You don't.
I feel like most people who do fight
Mm-hmm.
are often not the first person to make the move. That's why it's always a reactionary thing.
Do you believe in verbal slaps though?
Yeah, I mean
Like,
verbal jabs. Yeah,
Are there? I guess this is the hard word, and comment on this if you see fit, Gabby. But like, are there phrases or words that can be said that are so terrible that you think they can warrant a physical reaction?
I think if any white person said nigger, nig, yeah, it's a problem.
You'll lose.
It's a problem, but
you would jeopardize your career over an ER. I don't know, bro. I don't, and that's
I don't know.
And people call me
Like-
pussy for that. Like, I don't know if I'm jeopardizing my livelihood over an ER.
But does your job have to know?
No, but what
You
like?
know?
Let's say it becomes a thing. I have to sit in jail for a night. They're like, "Why'd you sit in jail?" I was like, "I'll knock this nigga cold out because, like, I'm gonna be that one black." Like,
Hey,
if you call me,
you know what? Here's the thing. Here's how I feel about that.
yeah,
If I'm gonna get fired for that,
might as well go out swinging.
I might as well. I might. You know what? I might as well just speak how I feel. I turn off my white voice.
Yeah,
It comes off officially at that
Yeah.
moment
yeah.
in my resignation letter, and it's good. I feel like it's kind of like how I don't want to work at a place that's gonna discriminate me by my name, right? Like,
Malikwe?
right. That's why I want to work there anyway.
That's
but
very
if
true.
but if they found out the
That's
reason
facts.
why I fought, if they took the time to be like, okay, so what happened?
What happened?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got heated in the moment. It's some racial slurs going on. I mean, it's
I don't
not
think they're
normally
gonna
my character,
understand.
but
I don't
We're
know.
talking about-
man.
But-
I feel like the company I work at right now, if
it all depends on
If
the
you
company. too.
swung, you're getting fired.
Yeah.
me,
Period. Yes.
where I work now,
Yes. You think yes.
to a coworker,
If you
oh,
swung
I'm getting fired.
on a
I'll
coworker,
get
Yeah,
fired for
you-
even thinking about swinging.
yeah.
You some soft ass niggas where I work, bro.
I thought you were. Oh, I thought you were saying you weren't going to get.
Nah,
fired.
bro, I get fired.
like,
I get
Yeah,
fired.
you get
immediate-
fired,
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if I get fired because somebody didn't get fired. But
Yeah,
that's
but,
neither
like-
here nor there.
Swinging. I don't like.
Oh.
Maybe it's different for niggas, but like in general, like hitting people, that's an offense, bro.
It is.
That's an offense.
That's the crazy thing about America is like you can say damn near anything you want to
You
somebody.
can't hit people though.
But you can't hit people.
You can't hit people.
Yeah,
Even a
assault.
little bit, you can't hit people.
Yeah.
I don't like that. You can't see Gabby right now, but her face is like, I don't know what to
Just,
tell
like,
you,
looking
bro.
around.
Like, I do not like the
Oh,
fact that
shit.
you can't defend yourself against verbal assault.
You know,
can't
there
hit
is a.
people,
I
bro.
think there. I
That's
think,
fucked up.
I think in some places you can.
Like other countries.
Like there's no in United
In the
States. Yeah, considered fighting words. Yeah.
I thought
No,
you
like
said
literally-
black people
like-
said.
Like really? Yeah. I think it's like. I think it's a legal, a legit legal
Fighting
argument.
words.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We
I
can
don't know
we can
about
we
that.
can we can fact check this.
But I just
But-
don't.
Are like verbal, like,
Mm.
attacks, like they're not equivalent to like physical attacks.
Yeah.
I don't. And you know what? This
But
is
like I think okay, here's the not the definition, but the situation in which it causes, if it's a threat or like
harm,
a
hate speech.
yeah, sometimes hate speech isn't covered by it though.
Okay.
So it has to be like I'm going to kill you,
Okay.
you know.
You can defend yourself against that.
That's
a
okay.
threat on
That's
your
a little
life.
different.
Yeah.
That's different. But
I'm going to burn your house down.
I feel
Yes.
like, and whenever someone predicates it with I feel like, it's gonna be something wild. I feel like
Spicy.
there are it's too easy to get away with being mean. And I say that to mean an ass whooping lasts how long? Depending on the severity of the ass whooping, if you really beat somebody, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, right? But some things that are said are emotionally scarring forever. Like I remember when I was in preschool, there's this kid named Andrew, and we were praying. I went to a private preschool where we prayed. Gabby's gonna make fun of me for that, but we were praying, and I had to hold Andrew's hand. I don't know his last name. If I did, I would shout him out because he's a bitch. I had to hold Andrew's hand, and Andrew wouldn't hold my hand, and I'm like, I don't remember if I said, "Why aren't you holding my hand?" or something. We're praying. He's like, "Because black people are mean." I never forgot that. And you see how like that affected me. Those words have stayed with me for a very long time.
Mm.
If he whooped my ass, yeah, just an ass whooping. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't think I feel that way.
How many ass whoopings have you had?
None.
Yeah, I've had a couple. And you kind
Yeah.
of just let them
Yeah,
roll
it's
off
kinda
your back.
You know, honestly, I had a relationship with this
I thought you were gonna say something different.
Oh no, I had this oh god. No, I had this best friend growing up.
Yeah.
And we would kick each other's ass. It was like a Rick James, Charlie Murphy kind of relationship where it was just terrible. But you know what? After every ass whooping we dished out, it was cool afterwards. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like it just rolls off. Like
Ass
you know what I
whoopings
mean?
are. It's like
whatever.
it's such a short, fleeting, and I think it's because you have an understanding afterwards. You're like, oh, you were heated, I was heated.
I don't know though. Like maybe like I don't know. Maybe it's different because you were children. But like, imagine someone hit you.
Right now,
Yeah, like
Yeah,
someone
that's
you're
true.
friends
That's
with
true.
hit you.
yeah,
Mm.
That's friendship is over.
not always. See, and that's
I feel like it depends on the context.
Thank
though,
you, and
right?
that's another thing. You gotta ask why.
I think
You gotta ask why. Nah, bro, you gotta ask why. If Jackson came up and rocked my shit, I gotta ask him, why'd you do that? Like if it was out of the blue, then I'd be like, oh, we have to talk. But if it was because I did something, I'll be like, oh, okay.
Personally, I feel like there's nothing, maybe just for me, I could do that would warrant someone hitting me. No matter how egregious you thought it was, hitting me, like we're adults.
yeah.
Like I'm a grown person.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
That's
know
how
how
you
to
solve
duck.
your problems. We're not. This relationship is over. Don't normalize like.
But I
hitting
feel like
people.
but I feel like like tensions are at a high, right? I feel like there should be no excuse to go to the next level, which is to use
Physical violence.
like beyond that. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's like what's going on with people our age specifically.
What do you mean?
It's just a instant retaliation to extreme violence.
like with shooting people.
Shooting people, stabbing people.
Like, you know how people, someone steps on your Jordans, then they fucking go shoot up the club. You know what I mean?
Whoa, I feel like we jumped.
No. We're talking
I
about
was
just,
trying
like,
to bring it back to what I was saying about earlier. It's just like, it's just such a sudden
like people are just so like quick to anger, quick to violence.
Yeah.
And I guess you're right. Don't normalize hitting people. And everyone's different. Everyone has a different school of thought. Like, I will always speak respectfully to a person, but I will always keep in mind that if I say something out of pocket, it was a calculated thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've said this multiple. I've said
right.
things where I expect to get hit, and I've been punching them out multiple times for things that I've said.
Mm.
And it's different for everybody, but I live my life understanding like, hey, you might say something that might warrant you getting hit in the mouth. Like, can you pay that price? Can you sign off on that check before you say what you say? Like, and I personally, and it's not the same for everyone.
Mm.
I like that system because I think it makes people think before they speak. I don't think a lot of people think before they speak. So people just say careless things. And there needs to be some kind of check and balance system. And maybe my system is wrong, but...
So physical abuse is the check.
Jesus, we are jumping places.
You hit someone.
Is that physical abuse?
Yes.
I don't think hitting... that's battery. But that's not physical abuse.
Yes, it is.
Physical abuse
Yeah,
is... that's a little different, right?
I feel like if you were to initiate, it's assault. And if you were to retaliate, it's defense. I just view it in black and white like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I would see it that way as well.
Yeah.
Then what's an alternative system?
I would only hit someone if they hit me first as self-defense. I would never hit someone as a check on something they've said or done to me. That is just not how I solve my problem.
And that's perfectly fine because everyone's different, right? But then in your methodology, what do you do to kind of... So I guess the question becomes, let's say someone says something egregious to you. I would imagine, just knowing you, your first thing would be like, hey, I didn't like what you said.
Mm-hmm.
And so after you say, I don't like what you said, and let's say they escalate it, are you just like
Escalate it to what?
It's like they say something egregious again, or they even go deeper, twist the knife a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, like, you choose who you want to be around, right? So if someone's doing something aggressive, like they're saying shit that's fucked up to you and they won't stop, like, you don't have to choose to have that person in your life. You know what I mean? Like, that's
very wise.
Verbal abuse is a thing too, right? Like, why would you choose to
wise.
have someone who verbally abuses you?
Is and this might be off topic, to you, which is more egregious, verbal or physical abuse?
I think it depends on the context.
Really?
I think it depends.
I think the severity too.
Yeah, it depends on severity. Because
Like-
I think verbal abuse can be, or like emotional abuse can be.
I think emotional abuse is harder than physical abuse to me.
I mean, I don't know.
I think that's just a
yeah, I
tough
think
it's very
situ-
subjective.
Yeah, because like, I don't know.
I mean,
It could be
if we're
totally
gonna talk about like in relationships, like I feel like a lot of people who experience physical abuse also experience emotional abuse. So it's like
yeah,
it's hard to separate those particular two.
Mhm.
Some people experience just emotional abuse, but usually physical abuse and emotional abuse go hand in
what do you think is most common?
most common.
Yeah,
Emotional abuse, because it's not okay to hit people, guys. It's not okay to emotionally abuse people either. But some people don't know what
Right.
emotional abuse is.
right. I feel like people do, abuse emotionally subconsciously, like not all the time, but
Play that one
so
out.
like you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
some people don't even realize they're being emotionally abusive.
Yes, yes.
And it's just a habit that they have,
Yeah, I
Right.
think so too.
right?
What's an example of someone who's non-maliciously emotionally abusive?
You know what gaslighting is?
Yeah,
I've been told I do that by one friend in particular.
Yeah, it was
and I
me.
don't like that. It wasn't you. It was another person. But you can have that one too.
Okay.
What is
I feel like
gaslighting?
gaslighting. There's an objective though.
What is gaslighting?
I think people do it by accident too. So gaslighting is when you basically either purposely or non-purposely make the person you're speaking to or dealing with basically question their reality. And so that sounds really deep, but like an example of that could be like say you're in a relationship with someone and you tell them, oh, like the thing you said last night hurt my feelings, and then them being like, I didn't hurt your feelings, like I just said this because it's justifying like why they hurt feelings, like not recognizing it, like saying you're soft. That's gaslighting.
Right.
Like
That's a new
because
term,
then
right?
someone could be like a response for that could be like, oh, maybe I'm soft, like maybe I'm oversensitive, like maybe what they said wasn't that bad. That's like questioning whether what that person did to me was really valid. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
What's that line?
What?
What's the line? Like what's the line in your example? What's the line of someone being overly sensitive versus them actually having? Is it subjective to the person?
I mean, the way I view it personally is if someone says to me, like, you hurt my feelings, I mean, their feelings are valid. You know what I mean? It's especially if you want that person in your life, it's your responsibility to acknowledge that.
So then do you have to, so what I'm surmising from what you're saying is, man, I guess.
I think also gaslighting isn't just like a one-time instance thing. I think it has to happen over a period of time, right? Like it takes multiple like events. You know what I'm saying? Like let's say the thing that made you made this person upset, right? And they're saying, I don't like it when you leave the dishes out.
Yeah.
Right. And then the next day goes by and they leave their dishes out. And
it can be a one-time offense. I can think of an example.
Yeah.
This is like a tiny bit controversial, but
Okay.
So this is an example in politics. So we all know Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
So when Flint, Michigan was happening, everyone in Flint was obviously like, the water in Flint is fucked up. Like people are getting sick. Obama went to Flint, Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Went to a conference meeting and drank the water.
I remember that.
That's gaslighting.
Yeah.
Basically, what his actions showed is what you guys are experiencing is not
different,
real.
right?
What you guys are experiencing is not real. That's not what he said in his words, but that's what he said in his actions. To this day, that still affects him. You know what I mean? Like, I think that even affected Joe Biden in his election. Like, people in that part of Michigan don't fuck with him.
Damn.
Yeah.
And that shit, like, to those people, that was really, really serious.
That was out of pocket, bro.
It was really...
That was out of pocket,
I was
bro.
really out of pocket.
That was out of pocket, bro. I think about that, too. I'm like, yo, that was out of pocket. That was crazy.
That was really out of pocket.
That was a big fuck you.
Sinister
But that's
shit.
like a perfect example of gaslighting.
Yeah.
That's a good example.
That's a really good example. Good for you.
Thank you.
That's a good example.
Could get an applause.
That's a good example.
We need
Find
it.
the
We'll
button
get
on
that.
the-
Get the
Yeah.
button.
I think it's I love to advocate for the devil, and I will. And I love your example, but I wonder, can you anti-gaslight? So you say we're having a conversation, and you say, hey, Cyril, what you said yesterday really hurt my feelings. And then I say, your feelings weren't hurt, you're just being soft, right? That's gaslighting. Now, let's say I don't gaslight you. Let's say I hurt your feelings, and I say, I'm so sorry. I'll take your feelings into account from now on. And then a couple of days later, I come up to you and say, hey, Gabby, your level of sensitivity affects me in a way that I don't like. What is that?
I feel like that's just being insensitive. In a way, still gaslighting. You know what I mean?
But why is it, and so this is, I guess my question, right, is why is it that now my feelings are being invalidated? And I'm not trying to, and I want to take kind of the sting off of it because I want it to be a constructive conversation, which is I genuinely feel, and I'm not talking about us, but I'm using us as an example. I genuinely feel like, what if I genuinely feel like, hey, I can't be myself around you because anytime I'm myself, you take it so harshly. So what if I come to you with a real grievance, but then I'm accused of gaslighting again? Like, so I guess my question is, how do you...
I mean,
How do
I
you
think
get
you need
yourself-
to look at that situation and be like, am I gaslighting this person? Do you know what I mean? If you can recognize, like, objectively, are you gaslighting this person?
Mm-hmm.
And that hurts your feelings, then what are you even doing? Like, you know what I mean? You can recognize you've done it wrong.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm not gaslighting the person, but I want to bring up a real grievance that I have, which is, hey, every time I say something, you're a little bitch about it. And so the same way I recognize and I heard your feelings when you told me how you're feeling, I'd like you to recognize my feelings in that I feel as though you're too sensitive on some things. I'm wondering if there's like I'm trying to see things from both sides here, which is there's gaslighting, which I understand, but then how do you move past gaslighting to air out a real problem that you have,
This
right? Because I understand what gaslighting is. Gaslighting is like, hey, your feelings are invalid, you're being a little bitch. But now we're moving past that. We're a step ahead.
I know the answer.
All right, how does that work?
Listening.
But the
You
thing,
know what I mean? So like talking to be understood and listening.
explain
to
that.
me.
Like work the whole
Like
thing out.
okay, so
In my example, so I can understand.
yeah. So like in your example, if you're telling this person that you're upset about something, right, and you tell them that they're overreacting to it,
Basically.
I think there needs to be a conversation about what's triggering you about this conversation that we're having, right? What's like, why does this make you so upset when I bring this up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it might be
Yeah.
deeper.
You know what I mean? I would just dig deeper into it. You know what I mean? Like that way you could like there would be a mutual understanding of
What's causing?
Yeah, because sometimes like I'm right there with you. Like sometimes I don't understand why people are so sensitive, right? But sometimes I have to ask myself, okay, what exactly about this is it that it's making this person act a certain way?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
That
think
makes
it does
sense.
make sense. Does it make sense to you?
I guess.
I just say you probably have to dig deeper.
Yeah,
think
because I
that's
feel like
Mhm.
you proposed like a scenario, and I feel like it doesn't just naturally work both ways. Like if that's the case, like if you feel like this person is being oversensitive, I feel like there's more to talk about then. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because the
You know what I
solution
mean?
isn't necessarily like, especially I don't know what the relationship is between this hypothetical situation, but the solution isn't for the person to just not be less sensitive because that's just not possible, or to be less sensitive because that's just not possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a good example, real life example.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes Emily and I would work out together, right? And
Emily's his girlfriend.
yes, and when we do that together, sometimes I'm trying to like motivate or coach,
Oh dear.
right? And I coach in a different way because that's how I've been coached, right? And she's
different.
different,
Yeah.
right? So, sometimes we'll get into, small arguments about, all right, my coaching style is off, right? I'm not gratitude first and criticism second. I'm criticism first.
No gratitude.
Gratitude second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, you're
I'll
better
give
than
you
me.
props, but it's always like the first thing that comes out of my mouth
You're
is
better
like,
than me.
okay, you need to do this, and this
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
But good job on this. But you're doing this right. But just add this as these kind of things, right?
Yeah.
And so, and then every time I would bring that up, right, she'd be like, "Oh, I don't like how you're talking to me like that, right? That's not how I am motivated."
Yeah.
And so it took a couple tries of me understanding that because I was like, okay, so instead of saying you're overreacting or this is just how things go or like I'm just trying to teach you a form or trying to teach you how to do something better,
Yeah.
right? Like I need to understand first how to, talk to Emily about this thing. How to teach this person,
how to attack
right?
the problem.
Right.
Yeah. I always wonder, do you think a relationship can last? It doesn't have to be like a romantic relationship. It can be just any kind of relationship. Do you think a relationship can last if it always seems as though one person is constantly having to reteach the other person?
No, I don't think it could work.
It has to be a mutual kind of thing.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. You have to always be learning from each other.
Okay.
Right. I think a relationship is exactly how it is defined. It's a relationship. It's a give and take thing.
Yeah.
Mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like it should be in
Shouldn't
essence
be
a true
one-sided,
partnership. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes there are instances in where I see relationships, and for the most part, it's just one person belaying the other person constantly, and I wonder.
That's sad.
It's really sad, and I just wonder how much can someone take before they Scott Peterson somebody. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Like, just really.
You know? Yeah. That's a good question.
I don't know.
Honestly, I feel like that happens a lot.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always wonder how much can someone take? Like, if you were gonna quantify it, how much abuse do you think someone can take mentally before they snap? How
I think every person's different.
you think so?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What do you think makes someone more resistant to that kind of behavior?
I don't think there's any science behind it.
You don't think so? It's just a.
I think it's just if you're built like that. I don't know. You know, like I feel like there's a certain mental, like it's like pain tolerance.
Do you
right?
think there's
Like,
any benefit to being like that anymore?
I feel like there's a disadvantage to being like that.
It seems like it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're just too like stone cold,
Why?
you're a robot.
Because the world has changed.
No, I think it's just you're not, your personality is, I guess, I don't know. Scratch that. Scratch that. But I don't know. I feel like you can be vulnerable. You can be like, you know.
I mean, I'm not talking about just being like super tough all the time, but I do think personally, and you know, I never have the popular opinion, there's some value in someone who can
endure a lot of
emotional
shit.
abuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I don't think there's any like
Nature versus nurture. Yeah.
way about it. I think it's kind of random. Sometimes it could be nature, sometimes it could be nurture. Right?
I have a screaming hot take, and I know it's you gotta be ready when cheese. I have a screaming hot take, and this is not something that I'm teaching anybody how to live their life, and it's not something that I really care for to impart on anyone, but it's just an idea that I have that I want to know whether I'm on the right track, I'm not on the right track, or I don't know. It's an idea, right? It belongs to me. One thing that I don't like, and this is a quick side before I say what I say, is people don't have discourse anymore. People will say something, and people will either say, I agree with you, you're right, and gas you up, or they'll say, you're wrong, you're a terrible person. Like, no one ever goes, I never thought about it that way. And, you know what I mean?
I feel like you hang around wrong people, man.
You're on Instagram too much. I mean, I've been hanging around one person in particular.
First of all, I feel like we have discourse all the
We
time.
do have discourse, and that's why, like, you're my roommate.
That's why you want me on your podcast.
Why I think, and that's why we live together, is because I can't just live with anybody. You know what I mean?
You both do a good job at asking a question if you don't agree with something.
You have to.
You know what I mean?
You can't just, and that's kind of what I'm getting to. My hot take, right, is I think that there's a new generation of African Americans who are, in my ideology, are teaching their kids to be more, I don't want to say soft, but I would say less emotionally rigid, less emotionally able to handle emotional abuse. And while I think that is good, I see you parsing out something in your mind.
No, go
right
ahead.
now.
I'm listening. I need to hear the whole thing.
While I think that is good, I don't think we're there yet. And what I mean by that is being an African American in this country is still hard, right? You are still going to face some harsh things in life. And I'm worried that theoretically we're starting to not prepare some of our youth for the hardships that are going to come in life. We're starting to raise our kids a little bit like white folks when we don't live the same lives as white folks. That's all. That's my idea. And
so you're saying we're gaslighting our kids?
I don't know, but what I'm saying is
I
like
brought that all together.
you did. That was very clever. There's this generation I see, and there's nothing wrong with it. Raise your kids how you want. I wish that's the life that we could all have, but I think that there's something.
I guess I'm confused about what exactly you're talking about when you say younger kids are being raised to not tolerate emotional abuse.
Are you talking about Gen Z?
Super know what you're talking about.
Like, I feel as though this new generation of Black parents is not being, I don't want to say being as hard, but I want to say that they're not preparing their children for the realities of being black in America.
And like, what is making you say that? Like, what is an example of that you've seen?
Like, one thing that I've seen that's kind of catching on is I'm seeing a lot of younger black kids being a lot more belligerent to police officers. And granted, police officers shouldn't treat you any way they want, but you have to understand the game is not the same. So just be respectful and move on. You know what I mean? Like, things like that. The game, and I hate to say this, the game is not the same for us.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's not.
So
Right.
where, white kids can mouth off to police officers and be fine.
Right.
We don't have that luxury.
Right.
Is it unfortunate? Absolutely. But
Right.
is that the cards that were dealt? Yes.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to understand is like, why these, and I've seen it with my own eyes, these young kids be real brazy. And it's like, yeah, maybe Kyle and Connor don't have to respect authority, but unfortunately, you do, my man.
Right.
And is it fair? Absolutely not. Do I wish it wasn't the case? Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to shape your clay. You have to mold, you have to have the clay for the mold that you have. You know what I mean? You're gonna say
I
no.
wasn't too loud on the mic, was it?
No, it wasn't. I guess I just don't see what you see, and B, the only other comment I have is like the world is changing. Granted, I don't see what you see. Like you're saying, yeah, like what you say, I don't see it.
Yeah.
But the world is also changing, like for the better. Like it's changing slowly, but it is changing.
Do you really think it's changing?
Yes, it is. We will look back in 30 years and be like, it's now is not the same as it was before. That is the trend we're on. It's not changing quickly, but it is changing.
And when you say the world is changing, what are you in particular? What in particular are you going like? Oh, that's a market because absolutely, I'd rather be black now than 1865, right? But I think for me, what I'm worried about is this, and we talk about this all the time. Is this performative, or are there things actually happening at the top? Because if you were telling me things are changing socially, I tend to agree with you to a degree. But the thing is, social things don't always affect financial institutions, things like that, right? So if you're saying things are changing socially, yes. Now, with things changing socially, it's going to take time because a whole generation has to die before we can, kind of elevate into that space. So is that what you mean?
I think the whole mini movement that happened in 2020 was a good example of how things are changing slowly. Like a lot of what we saw in a sense was performative. A lot of what resulted was a lot of nothing. That's the truth. But I think what we saw though was a social intolerance for a lot of the things that we would like to not see. And granted, it's not actionable, but I think our society is moving toward an intolerance to the racial discrimination that we experience.
So here's what I'm going to say to all this. I think our society is evolving. Not necessarily. I don't know. Like it, in a lot of ways, socially is changed, and I do agree with you that we've seen a collective disgust for certain things and actions. However, I think as we've seen racism go from slavery to Jim Crow to neoliberalism, right? I think it's always changing in a landscape, right?
Racism's also evolving.
Right. So
it evolves at the same clip that society evolves.
Right. What that next form looks like, we don't know. But in my mind and kind of how I see it too, is like, I think we're going to be missing a lot of gaps, or a lot of, there's gonna be a lot of holes to fill, a lot of, economically, right? We're trying to catch up. We're trying to gain that power, right? That's why I think supplier diversity is a good career to get into.
I think kind of piggybacking off of that and what you said, I got my job because of those things that happened over the summer. Like that's not the only reason I got my job. Obviously, I'm a qualified person, but I can't say it didn't help. Because we actually spoke about it on the phone with me and the person who kind of got me in the door. Why are you making that face?
I got a good
Our
question.
job is just cringy.
That's our job.
Our job.
But with that being said, like I'm very, I can kind of see what that evolution is right now. It's that racism is changing from black to just it's classism now. Like I can clearly see with my own two eyes the class divide, and I saw it during the pandemic because I expected the housing market to crash, but it didn't. Because you know who had jobs? Tech niggas. Tech people had money. So that class divide, whoof, it got wide. People, because do you remember? And this is like the big thing. Loan rates went down to 0%. So if you had good credit and you already have some money, now you can borrow more money to buy more land. Like people who had a decent amount of money, I won't lie. Yeah. People like my folks, they did all right during like the pandemic. I can see the new racism evolving into classism because the way America has shifted, it's made it so African Americans can't have money. So as we move forward, the new evolution of racism isn't going to be against African Americans. It's going to be against poor people. Unfortunately, because of the system in place prior, a lot of the people who are going to be poor will be brown people.
I mean, it's always been against poor people. It still is.
But they always make sure that brown people and black people
are in that
people.
category, yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like, like look at school. School should not cost as much as it does. But that's another way, right? It's a crazy.
Yeah,
it's a crazy.
It's always evolving. That's my point. But I guess I have another kind of hot take question. If you are put on to your job as a diversity hire,
oh dear,
what are your thoughts and opinions about it? Like, let's say you were told this.
Dude, I didn't tell you, did I? Did I tell you?
Mm-mm.
Bro, the first time I get on a call with the whole Western region, I don't know who his name is, and I swear to God, if I catch that nigga, it's on site. But he called us, literally, if you can go back and listen to the recording, he called us diversity hires.
Oh, Lord.
And it's like, and I told my buddy Phil about it. I'm like, yo, this is fucking egregious. How dare you?
How early was that?
Bro, I was 4 weeks. This company has been kind of problematic for a little while.
Yeah.
But I was like 4 weeks in, bro.
Sheesh.
And it was it's disrespectful because I didn't take diversity calculus. I didn't take diversity linear algebra. I didn't take diversity chemistry. I didn't take diversity numerical methods.
Right.
But I'm a diversity hire.
Jesus.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're not gonna agree with me, but that's an on-citable offense, my nigga. To me, that is. You can catch some hands for that shit.
In the workplace?
Outside the workplace,
You still gonna get fired.
it's fine, but like it's so disrespectful. In some people, like there's some things, like I'm not a prideful person at all. And like I might joke around a lot, but you know me, like at my core, I'm not a prideful person. But there's some things you're gonna catch these hands over. And disrespecting my ability is one of those things. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna, and it's not because I think so much of myself. It's because of what I've been through, bro. I've been in school for 9 years, bro.
Right. You're
gonna take that away from me,
right?
And just say diversity. Fuck you, fuck you and your kids, bro.
Right.
Like that is the wildest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
When you call someone a diversity hire, you take away their accolades.
Yes.
I have a master's degree. You take away my master's degree and say they just gave that to you. They didn't give it to me when I was not sleeping from 6 to 6 so I could study to take an exam. Right? They didn't take that from me when I had to take $5,000 to pay for this semester. They didn't give that to me. I earned that shit. So how dare you take that away from me? So that's
very valid. It's very valid. You took the words from my mouth.
I mean, it's incredible. And the thing about it is the company I work for is like they're trying to be kind of woke, I guess. And it's just it falls flat on their face. There's and I'll say this, right? There are people who are white and there are white people, right? And you can feel a genuine, like when you meet someone who just happens to be white, you can genuinely feel like, hey, they don't care what race you are. You're just a person to them. They'll treat you as a person. But then there are white people who always, like Dave Chappelle said, punch down. Like to punch down on someone means you look down on them.
Right.
Like to think that they always have to help us means that they look down on us.
Right.
And
Right.
to some degree, I don't think looking down on us is correct, but understanding that we're not on equal footing is correct. But the way they go about it is just so derogatory to me.
Right.
And
right.
some might argue, well, what can we do? We try to help you. You say we're being derogatory. But there's a way to genuinely be like, hey, my brother, right? There's a way to
Yes.
be like, I want to help my brother come up to where I am. I want
Right.
to see all my niggas eat.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And that's a very clear way to help someone. When you eating, you want to see your niggas eating.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That is a way to approach this racial injustice thing that I think everyone would be like, oh no, they really just want to help me because they see me as like, that was my nigga. I went way back with him. Let me help him get where I'm getting.
Yeah. And that's one of those things, Gabby, I think you brought up too, that the many things that came out of 2020, a lot of these companies put on these diversity seminars within their company. They've, put on these classes, they put on a few people on the like entry level, just do the bare minimum, right? And, I've run a consultancy doing this for, tech companies or shameless plug, Equity Power Consulting. But they're missing the point, right? I think it's like the person that's saying, I'm not racist, but X, Y, and Z, right? They're prefacing it way
I'm
too
not
hard.
racist, but it's
right,
like, yikes.
Right, exactly. So I don't know. I feel like there's it's very surface level shit that has been done, right?
I can't stand that performative aspect.
It's very performative. So it's really frustrating when I go to present, like I do a proposal, like I'm doing a proposal meeting.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, we got these seminars and stuff that are pretty good. And I'm like, yeah, but you're probably doing the same thing as
we have seminars at work.
X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, we have seminars at work.
It's just like,
they never,
because you know what it does? It singles you out as an employee of color.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
I feel like everyone's looking at me.
Yeah.
They don't understand. We don't want to be better. We don't want to be treated better. We just want to be treated the same.
The same. And you have the same opportunities.
I just want to be able to feed. Yo, I want nothing. Jim has a boat. I want a boat.
Right.
That's all I want.
I think the better way to put it is Jim has an opportunity to management. I have an opportunity to management. And we have equal credentials, then the game is on, and
the game is on and fair. A meritocracy where you get things based off of merit. Right. So, yeah, I mean, I just think it's a big miss when that's not talked about in diversity and inclusion. Well, one thing that I heard that was absolutely BRAZ. This man just won a lawsuit in North Carolina for $10 million because he was fired for being white. Yeah, that's some white people shit. But he won. The jury pleaded with him. That's another thing about America, which is justice is not blind. Justice has 20/20 vision, right? When you realize that the law system in the court is all a popularity contest, like the biggest thing. Say no. That's the reason why I abandoned my dreams of going to law school. It's if you are terrible. I'm a failure. It's the jury, man. Like, and that's why cases get moved certain places. If you kill a little white girl in Alabama, right? But it wasn't fault. It was an accident. Let's say you accidentally. It was an accident, and you go to the county that has all black jury, sympathy. If you go to a county all white jury, lock that nigga up forever, bury him under the prison. Right. The jury decides your fate, but the jury is biased. Right. Jury of your peers, my dickhole. That's not. Yeah. It's not. Right. The law is the most disgusting thing in this country. It is. It's fucking awful. Because it doesn't work well. It's for anyone. No. For any, it never. I mean, it works well for certain people. Do you remember the kid who killed like 3 people drunk driving? He was 14 years old, driving like an F450. Damn, that's a big ass car. This dude was driving like an F450, 14 years old, killed everybody. This nigga got off on affluenza, saying that he was so rich he didn't understand his reality and what he had done, and basically suffering from a mental illness, and got to go free. I think probation, something like that. Let me get drunk and even get in a car. Right. I'm going to jail for life. Yeah. I mean, you're definitely getting a Dewey. I'm getting a Dewey hard. I don't even think homeboy got a Dewey. I don't think he. Wow. You can't get a Dewey underage.
You can?
I'm dead.
Like,
Can you?
Not Dewey.
Do
it's a Dewey. I know people with Deweys who have jobs,
I know people with Deweys with good jobs.
but I don't think I can get a job with a Dewey.
I
You know
couldn't
what's
either.
crazy though? I think it gets to a point where race starts getting a little blurry. Like if I was in my job for 8 or 9 years and I had
This same job.
yeah, and I'd accrued so much experience, I think it gets to a point where you're like that person's just a valuable asset. Like if I went to go apply for a job somewhere else, like I think it gets to a point where it's like less about him being named Demarius Smith and more about him be like, oh, he has 8 years in like treatment plant design and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the name starts getting a little fuzzy because of all the experience.
Yeah.
I think. But getting into the door.
Yeah,
I think it's a
just
little
getting
tricky.
there. Yeah, and that's why representation on upper management is important because at the moment, at my job, like I see 1 or 2 people, and one of those people is my boss.
Okay.
In that kind of role in which people are, this person has this experience and they've been here for X amount of years. They know what they're doing. Boom. But I don't see that very regularly. So I guess
think
what I'm trying to say is it's just hard to stay at a company if you don't see that. Right?
Absolutely.
You
And
know
I
what I'm
think one thing
Yeah.
that I will never not do is if I think I deserve something, I'll ask. I think you have to ask. Now, if I ask and I don't get it, I'm gone. I'm going somewhere else.
Right.
But I do think that don't expect people just to be like, Cyril's been working hard. Like, you have to be like, yo, I've been working for. One thing I've learned in corporate America that like white people do, they always make sure you know who did it. And that is something. I think what I see in immigrants and especially like for like Africans and stuff like that, we're very passive. We're like, yes, I just do my best job and you can give me more work. And I know that happens a lot with Asian immigrants too.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, you gotta be like the white folks. The white folks do little work and fucking scream to the heavens about it.
Yeah.
Right? You
Yeah.
gotta, and that's how they get promoted and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's more about it's a politics game.
It's a politics game. And the thing is, I say white folks a lot, and it's not fair because I know some people who happen to be white who are in a similar boat. The difference is they get a touch more favor, right? The skin just gets them a little bit closer,
Right.
And they don't, and that's the part they don't understand,
Right.
right?
So I guess my question for the both of you is like, do you participate in a system like that, or do you find other ways in which you make money?
Both. I don't just green. Don't the only color I care about is green, my nigga. Like, I'll make my bag somewhere else, and I'll have a 9 to 5. Like it gets to a point where I'm not black. I'm OJ.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like if you have enough
Oh my
paper,
God.
I need a button for that. A bad joke button.
like it gets to the point where you got paper where it's like, I mean, you're still black, but you're not like black because wealth is even associated with being white. So you make enough paper, I mean, you'll still be black, but you're not.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, are you going to ultimately strive to work? What are you striving for?
I want to own my own business. For me, I want
Okay.
to own my own business, right? But I also understand I'm not. It's probably not gonna earn me any points with Dr. Umar. I'm very indifferent towards white people. Just don't get in my way, and I don't mind you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, don't get in my way, and I won't mind you. But now, when you're actively standing in my way, now we got problems. Right?
Right.
And I said this, I forget who I was talking to, but as black people, we can reach the same heights, but the journey is going to be a little bit longer and a little bit more
tougher.
treacherous and a lot tougher. But if you have the propensity and you have the grit
Yeah.
and the guile, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to be frustrated that it's taking you longer and it's harder? Absolutely.
Right.
But when you get there, will you have a better story? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way to look at it. So eventually I want to own my own company. I know it's hard. Things are getting better socially, which helps me for the kind of company that I want to own.
Yeah.
But it's still like a good old boys club. And You got to know how to play the game,
You do.
bro. Like
You do.
I like
Yeah.
construction.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a lot of
But
in
it-
construction. Racist white folks.
dudes.
You know what? Another thing in construction, a lot of Mexicans. You know what I learned how to speak? Fucking Spanish.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not gonna get Kyle Connor and fucking Tanner on my side,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Jose, and fucking Rodrigo on my side. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true.
You have
Yeah,
to know
yeah.
how to play the game.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And I think
Mhm.
if I was gonna give anyone any advice,
Mm.
is if you want to play a game, make sure you know every rule
Yes. So you can break them.
so you can break them or manipulate them.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
it.
yeah.
I think you also
What?
asked Gabby. Yeah,
Yeah, Gabby, what are your thoughts?
What was the specific question?
not paying attention.
No,
I'm
I've been
a fucking
listening, but
producer.
you kind of.
I guess the question was like, if do you want to like, what do you strive for in like what's your end goal, right? Would you want to like work for a system that doesn't ultimately respect you, or would you rather find different ways in which you can make your own living?
Well, I also want to own my own business.
See,
Fucking
Entrepreneurs.
copy
Yeah.
that.
yeah, no, not. I think specifically black folks, we have. I think entrepreneurship is a.
Because you don't want
It just seems like you just don't want to. Yeah, exactly. You want to escape that day-to-day corporate bullshit
Yeah,
that you have
for
to, you know,
Yeah.
I want a
all the
workplace
microaggressions.
where you walk in, you
all
hear,
that.
"Nigga better have my money," and it's like,
Yeah,
that's where I want to work.
that's
That's where I want to work. That's
the
where I wanna
office.
work. Oh, office smells like fucking fried chicken and hair grease. Like that's what I want. And white people are welcome. I'm not gonna not hire white people, but they better be with that shit. Like,
like Travis Kelce. I'm taking him in the racial
you know
drafts,
what's
man.
crazy? Travis Kelce's brother and him are so different.
Really?
Oh, dude, Travis
I mean,
Kelce's brother is like just like a straight white dude, and Travis is like the silkiest white dude I've ever seen.
He
in my
is
fucking
very
life.
silky. He's like Paul Wall. but
Yeah,
like,
he's the silkiest white dude I've ever seen in my life. And it's like that. It's like some people just like well, all people like black culture. There's a famous quote by Paul Mooney.
Go ahead.
Rest in peace. He goes, "Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga."
That's true. That's true.
That's how it is.
Yes. But yeah,
I don't know, man.
my last question for you guys: what are you investing in?
That's a Gabby question. That's a great Gabby question.
That's not a good question for Gabby. I don't have a lot of investments.
Yeah.
I mean, it could like, what are you like? It could even be just like, what are you
She's
taking
investing
stock
in herself.
That's an investment.
She really is investing in herself, and I'm really proud of
How
her.
would you say? What do you mean?
Bro, I see you every day working on your stuff, man.
Oh, you right.
I hate giving you compliments because you just fucking eat.
But yeah, and like literal investments, I have like a few stocks, but I'm not super literate in that realm, to be honest.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'd be trying to invest in myself. Like Cyril
Okay.
said, I'm trying to start my own business.
Right.
So yeah, I'm like saving up for particular investments. I'll push that forward, and just time investments into that as well.
Okay. You're very vague,
Yeah.
but you know,
What do
You're gonna
you
laugh
mean?
at me.
but it's okay. You don't have to tell us your
so-
business.
No,
You-
it was.
No, and she shouldn't, but she's working really hard, and I'm really proud of her.
I want to
wanna
know.
make
You can tell me
shoes.
off air, but
I want to make shoes.
you want to make shoes.
Special
Mhm.
shoes, though.
Yeah.
Huh.
Putting that degree to work.
That's
But
Okay.
you're gonna laugh super hard when I tell you what I'm investing in, and I might get chastised. I invest so heavily into renewable energy and electric cars.
LOL.
I have so much electric car stock, it would make your dick tingle.
Ew.
Hey, like I said, I don't know if you know this about me. Personal lives here, business lives here. They don't interact.
You are very complex.
They
man.
don't. No, they don't interact,
You're
bro.
very
I'm gonna make this
complex,
paper, cuz. But like, business is here, personal is here. How I feel should not affect my money. Come on now.
I mean, you right. But
Come on
damn,
now.
that's such a. That's damn.
People don't like me because I'm like that. I can separate church and state easy as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
I have no problem. Like, personally, I hate them, but I'm not dumb.
Yeah,
I would
that's-
never let my personal feelings affect my ability to make money.
Yeah, you're
That's
saying-
stupid.
You're saying you're not gonna invest money in Dodge right now.
They're coming out with the electric car in 2024.
It's true.
And FCA is running. The Stellantis is running a whole new platform. Like
That's
I'm not dumb, bro. Like
Yeah.
how I feel is not going to affect my ability to make money. It just won't.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
never gonna fumble the bag.
I got what you're saying. I it just kind of threw me through. It just took me by surprise when I first heard it. I was like, we just had a whole argument about electric cars. I still think they're gonna be way more fun.
You know what? And from a business perspective, I hope you right, nigga. So that fucking shit cashes in for me.
Yeah.
From personal perspective, fuck you. But you see how those two things are different?
Right.
Like from a business perspective, I pray to whatever people believe in that electric cars boom. Because you have to also understand it's better business for me. I'm an environmental engineer. I'm a civil engineer. Right. That's like business.
It's work for you.
Like people don't understand this. Like at work, I'm all green. I care about the environment. And I truly care about the environment.
Yeah.
I want the biggest fucking diesel truck you ever seen.
Yeah.
That's church in that state, nigga. Like that is
Hey, okay. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
and then I make up for church when I go to do state shit.
Right.
So I make up for all the sins I have in my personal life. And I have a very good system going on here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But yeah, I never let my personal hatreds affect my business life. That's just dumb. Keep that at home.
Interesting.
Keep that at home. I wish more people were like that. Keep your personal issues at home.
Yeah. Okay.
You ever go to work?
I feel that. Okay.
You ever go to work?
Sometimes.
Somebody real short with you because of something that happened at home.
Yeah.
I had to sit them niggas down and be like, yo, that happened at home.
Yeah.
That's a home issue.
That's true.
You know where this is?
That's true.
Not your fucking home.
That's true.
So wait till you get home to handle that.
That's true.
But here, I want you to be cheery, smiley, and happy.
Okay.
And then when you get home, deal with your bullshit.
Gotcha.
It's not my responsibility.
I'm trying to find a way I can play devil's advocate, but I just agree with you on that part, though. I'm like, that's pretty good. But that's some good investments. I know who just opened a copper mine recently.
I don't know, but I know they're gonna be slaves working in that shit. Every time I hear mine, I'm like, it's always gonna be manual labor, dude.
Oh yeah, but that's some good stock right now.
It
though,
is. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I have a conspiracy theory. Love these. I believe that this worker shortage is artificial. I think it's a little poppycock, and I think it's because companies like Amazon want to finally be able to use robotic labor as opposed to using people. So I think two things. I think the shortage is a farce, but I also think that Amazon is working the shit out of people purposely. So eventually, when they start using a robotic force, they can be like, well, we tried people and people couldn't handle our demands, so we can use robots.
That's some cold pimp shit.
That's
man.
what I would do.
That's some real cold pimp.
This
shit.
is what I think.
That's,
If I can think of it, they can think of it. Excuse me. You know what I mean?
and that's why that goes back to my point. I don't think it was recorded on this one. So I don't think people who make that much money haven't got that.
Yeah, if you make over $100 million, there are probably some bodies in your backyard. Somebody had to buy.
Most likely.
And now the business part of me, get your money, Playboy. The personal side of me, it's kind of fucked up. But we were talking about it, and I was telling you how, I talked to my sister, and I said, yeah, I don't like being here. And she's like, where's here? I'm like, I don't like being on Earth. And not like in a dark way, but this world is so dark that I don't see the upside in it. And you were about to say, well, I'm cheery little Malique, and the world's so great. Oh, yuck. So let it rip.
I mean, I appreciate the little things.
Like what?
Going on a walk.
Nigga.
Breathing.
Shut the fuck up, bro.
Waking up in the morning.
You shouldn't appreciate standard things.
Good for him. Let him enjoy his life, bro.
Here's the thing. Right. There's so much that can happen every day. Some dude could probably take a shot.
Please don't say
right
things
on
like
the
that.
on the sidewalk.
Like that. And you're
right
100%
to my dome right
but
now.
But that shouldn't happen.
And it didn't.
It can, but it shouldn't. You shouldn't praise things that also shouldn't happen.
You're right. But also I think that there's such a beauty in like just appreciating just like small things. Like, this is gonna sound hella cheesy, but like growing tomatoes, like like cooking that shit. Like, that's some like that's some like damn, like I grew this thing, made it into some kind of cuisine, right? Like it's just I don't know, it's just my labor went into that, right? I don't, I feel like I'm on an island.
Good for
But
you.
I just feel like what's the point if you can't enjoy it? Cuz so much shit is out of your control. You know what I mean? Like you can't like as much as I like to think that like oh yeah there's definitely hope in the world in which you can to your point like you can't like not one nigga can do everything right so like
So you're throwing your hands up in the air and going, I'm just gonna appreciate the things that I can control.
yeah
I can't.
throwing your hands up in the air.
And maybe that's my
but
issue.
but it's more like oh yeah I can't control that but hey look at this cool shit I did or look at this life I'm living it's pretty dope
and maybe that's why I cannot. I'm a problem solver. So when there are problems I can't solve, I can't sleep, I can't eat, and it bothers me to my core.
I mean I used to be like that. I know.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not a good way to live.
I know, but it's everyone in how they view things. Like I always view things, and this is another hot take. We're really on a roll tonight. I believe that hate does more than love. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, go hate your neighbor, but I'm looking at it historically. Historically, hate has done more, in my opinion, than love ever has. And I'm not looking at this to say, like, go hate your neighbor, but I'm just bringing it up.
You're
to
just saying
like,
it's caused more events in history than
hate moves things, bro.
I would say greed, right?
Greed too, but a lot of it's hate, dude. Like, always say this. How many Native Americans do you know? Full Native Americans.
Not a lot. 2 probably.
You know 2 full Native Americans?
Yeah.
That's more than they know.
That's not true.
That's Native Americans are
they
few
don't
and far
know their
between.
family,
Bro, they are few and far between. And they're getting abducted at stupid rates. Like things like that. But like the hatred that drove Andrew Jackson to fucking decimate that. Like, look what it did. Now we don't know the people who are from here first.
Yeah.
We down 6 million Jews because somebody had beef with them. Right? Like there aren't massive movements of love that create earth-shattering activities on this planet. Level effect.
Okay,
maybe
I can't find an example for that, but I'd say it's greed more than hate.
How so?
What is look at the driving factors behind those 2 events that you just said?
The first one was
Greed for land.
But then
The other
there's a fundamental difference between like you had to hate somebody to be able to viciously murder them. And I'll give you an example. During World War II, if you look at the way people described German soldiers versus Japanese soldiers, like they always say like the German soldiers were just cold, cruel, calculated. They call the Japanese soldiers savages and animals just because they look different. That's hate. There's a fundamental difference.
Yeah.
Native Americans, you could figure something out. You didn't have to massacre them.
Yeah.
Right. So that one may be
right.
greed, but for the Germany one, it was just. Hate to say kudos to Hitler, but Hitler did what he had to do. He realized that his country was going down, and he needed a group to galvanize and blame. And he realized, hey, people gonna hate these Jews. So he said, "The target of my ire," and he went after them. And he knew he could rally a nation against that. If you really want to think about it, super juicy hot take: Hitler wanted a stronger Germany at the cost of Jewish people.
Yeah.
So if you think about it from a fucked up neo-Nazi perspective, he had a righteous ideal because he wanted a stronger Germany. Not necessarily greed was his intent, right? But he went about it the wrong way, in my opinion.
But I feel like you can frame it in greed in that example, right?
How
Like,
so?
He wanted more for Germany, right?
He wanted Germany to stop suffering because remember, after World War I, Germany had to pay reparations.
Right, exactly.
And it
So
was crippling
but
Germany.
he wanted more for Germany's economic development, right? And so he placed that blame on the Jews,
Yeah.
right, in order to gain that advantage and motivate people.
It would be greed if I see
I
what
don't
you're
know.
saying. I
Yeah.
think it would be greed if Hitler was like, I want money.
But I don't think it's pure. I don't think it's just hate alone, right? I feel like
I get what you're saying.
There's a gain.
There's a well,
There's something to gain.
Either way, there's an idea that people, let's just say this,
Mhm.
people have caused more harm on this planet for selfish gain than
Mhm.
altruistic reasons.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I'm not about that. I don't
Okay.
like that, bro.
I'll take that.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't want to be on a place like that.
Mm.
And people always like, well, look at the bright side. I cannot look at the bright side when the shade is so much more abundant.
Hmm. Well, I guess the way I look at it as like if you're dying of thirst in the desert
Mm-hmm.
and you get that one sip of water, you can't enjoy that. You know what I mean? Like you live for that sip, right? Because it's if you look around it yourself, to your point, there's nothing but hate, right? There's nothing but
So you're saying you live your life savoring that drip of water?
yeah.
Okay, I mean,
That's because sometimes like you'll find it and you just say, "Damn, this is worth every bit of
I
it."
think what you're describing is you're good at living in the moment.
People in my life said I'm terrible at that.
I think what you're describing is because what I would think
Yeah.
about is if I was in the desert and there was just one drip of water, I'd ask myself, who has abused the water rights around that this desert doesn't have? And that's the kind of person I am. Like, I'll always wonder, I think too far, like too many steps ahead,
Yeah.
right? And I think that may be what's crippling me. But you have to ask these questions. Nothing will change if no one asks questions. And that's why things don't really change.
Right.
No one's asking questions. And
Yeah,
when you
and
start asking questions,
Mhm.
they start
They start
giving you
revealing
things to numb you. No,
Yeah.
they start giving you things to numb you.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You're gonna say something. I'm sorry.
No, but I guess what I'm trying to say is though it's just like I had a friend who took his life recently.
I'm sorry.
No, we were really close. But that's one thing he taught me was to live in the moment. That's what I've been trying to do since his passing, right? But to your point, like I was the same way where I would think of the consequences of my actions, right? And I'd always be so concerned with, okay, if I do this, if I fuck off work today,
Yeah.
what will happen, right?
Yeah.
And my friend would be like, "Nah, man, let's sip Hennessy. Let's go ride bikes around the lake drunk."
Damn.
Let's-
that's wild.
He was a wild dude, but he taught me to live more in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And enjoy those moments too. And in those moments, you're not really thinking about why the world's so fucked up. I don't know. I think it's an interesting perspective.
Trying my
Give
best.
it. Just like a good exercise is just to stop and just appreciate one thing.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like I really enjoyed this TikTok video today. I don't know, it's some bullshit, but
I guess.
Yeah.
And I'll work on it, but yeah, it's a hard thing for me to do.
yeah, it'll get easy. It's hard to do, but it'll get easier. And honestly, it kept me from I still had a grieving period for my friend, but it was like really helped me through that process.
Yeah.
Because I can spend all day, sobbing about my boy,
Yeah.
but like, he wouldn't want me to live like that, right?
Yeah.
And he just lived like that. So, that's a way to honor him and do that. So, I don't know. Say it with your whole
Nah,
chest.
I can't.
Say it with your
Can't.
whole
Nah,
chest.
Even Gabby knows. Even I have some things that are off limits.
What?
I'm not gonna say it, but I think that it's yeah, I think that's a commendable way.
Yeah. So no.
I think we'll end it there.
I want to know what you were gonna say.
I just this one's for
cut it.
for once. I'm gonna be a good person and let it
Chill.
go. I'm gonna let it go. But thank you guys for watching so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.